What's going on, everybody? Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Market getting hit from two different directions. SPY falling down to the 50-day moving average and AMC breaking below that $36 level of support. We're going to go over everything inside this video. Let's get right into it. First off, as you can see, the SPY started to recover a little bit and continue its move from yesterday, about an hour into open, right around that 10 o'clock, 10:30 mark. Once the Fed starts doing its thing, like usual, just sell off all day long. It did get bought back up a little bit towards the end of the day. Let's take a look at this daily chart. We finally had bounced back to that 50-day moving average, which we know have acted as support numerous times before. Now, after Friday's heavy sell-off, we did get a little bit of a bounce, and I do expect to see that happening tomorrow, especially because we still need some concrete evidence on what catalysts and the pressures that we saw today are actually going to be true. So let's talk about those things. So Jerome Powell has finally admitted that inflation is starting to get a little bit out of control. And he said he expects policymakers in December to discuss accelerating the timetable for the tapering of monthly bond purchases. Now, for the last few months, he has maintained his position, saying that the asset tapering would end in the summer of next year. By the time he had started this, saying it would be about $15 billion a month. That schedule was perfect with his timeline. And he said he looks like they're going to have to accelerate a little bit in order to fight inflationary pressures. Okay, the economy is still very strong. Now, right now, like I said, it's about $15 billion a month, $10 billion in treasuries, $5 billion in mortgage-backed securities. I would see that maybe going to 20, no more than 25 billion, because they don't want to shake anything too quickly. That would send us deep into a recession. So naturally, investors got a little bit scared, just like they do every single time. However, they know that, okay, this is going to be discussed in December. By the time it goes into effect, probably give it at least another month or a month and a half before it starts coming into effect. So from previous times, from history, it normally becomes business as usual. Investors also have in the back of their mind that they know that when the tapering ends, the next thing is going to be that interest rate hikes. Now, to couple that with this article that came out today, and this is all over the internet. I saw this first come out from MarketWatch this morning. I mentioned it in the video I made yesterday, and this really pissed me off. Moderna CEO says vaccines likely less effective against the new COVID-19 variant. Well, we've just found out about this new variant. We've just found out that it's possibly gotten into the United States. There's only a few hundred, maybe even let's just say 1,000 cases of this new variant. How can scientists this quickly have such positive, conviction that the vaccine that they have is not effective? Because they came out with these scares about the Delta variant, and all of a sudden that news just got brushed away. And the other reason why it really pisses me off is because it's not Pfizer saying this, it's Moderna. Now, let me just clarify why. Moderna did $60 million in revenue in 2019 and has $803 million in 2020. I mean, that is a 12x. Now, they do have other drugs in their pipeline, phase 1 approvals, phase 2 approvals, and so forth, but this is their bread and butter. They need to keep this narrative going in order to keep their business going. This is a 100% financial move. Now, Pfizer, that does $42 billion a year in revenue, has not pushed this narrative like Moderna has. And that's why it frustrates me. It's all for financial gains. And when the mainstream media pounces on this and inflicts fear, okay, when the other day you just had Biden saying, no, there's not going to be any shutdowns, there's not going to be any lockdowns. Now you have Moderna saying, uh-oh, your vaccines aren't going to work. I mean, what are we doing here? We're kind of just, crossing each other. Well, it's going to scare investors a little bit, which is natural. Everything spooks investors, and that's why you saw the market just take a heavy hit today. Now, one of the other sectors that has really just been getting murdered lately is small cap. This is the IWM. It broke through the 50, the 100, and it actually started to break through the 200-day moving average. Now, we did have a couple dips back in July, one again in August, and then again in September. It maintained business as usual, and we began to see all-time highs. All of small caps are getting murdered, and we know AMC is heavily weighted inside of this. Now, if we take a look at AMC breaking below that $36 level of support, and I had said numerous times before that by looking at the price action, by looking at the charts, by seeing the movement of these candles, by watching the level twos, the time and sales, you didn't really see, you saw the BS happening. Now, we can clearly see that, especially on the level two action, but not seeing them adding heavily to their shorts because that risk reward. Well, once they broke that support early this morning below that $36 level, and we'll look at this on the daily chart, they continue to add to their shorts positions, which is a very natural move. Once you break below, below support, that's time to add. It shows confirmation and so forth. They capitalize with the market, they capitalize with the news, and you had some investors on the retail side that I'm sure bought this up. I did. I haven't added to my position since it was $47. I added at $33.24. I added it's about a 12, 13% addition to my position. I took a screenshot and showed that to everybody inside the group. It was at $33.24. I added to this. But when it comes to the big guys on the side adding to their positions, yeah, there was a little bit of hesitation, probably because, well, everything that is happening on the variant side, what is the narrative that's being pushed? And you also have the small cap just weighing it down. Now, when you still look at market beat and you look at all of the action happening from the institutional ownership, it still maintains very, very high. $785 million bought, 33 million sold. This is still one of the top 100 stocks held by institutions, showing that they know the direction of where the stock is going to go. And it doesn't mean there's going to be dips and chops along the way. We're still holding at a very strong point to where I personally do not have concerns for the short term on where the stock is going to go. When it comes to when the covering is going to happen, when it comes to when we're eventually going to break over this high level of support and eventually rip to all-time highs again, well, by the looks of it, we're going to get back to all-time highs. I just can't give everybody a single timeline on that. But I still hold strong to my shares. I added to my position because I'm still confident in exactly where this is going to go from the point I added to it and where my cost basis is. And I am still staying away from other swings besides the few that I have. And for everybody that has been asking about it, we had a great run. I mentioned the same stocks. We had a great run, and the market is very choppy. We wake up Friday morning, it's down 800 points. Wake up Monday, it's up 300 points. Wake up today, it's down like 500 points. In a market like this, if you're looking to add to brand new swing positions that don't have crazy catalysts behind them like AMC, you want to be very careful in what you add to, because like I said, the market is very shaky and you could wake up just down 5, 10% or more very quickly. Our day plays are still running strong. Some of the small caps, I'm sorry, not the small caps, the low floats are still running strong. We had a few of them today, so we're going to continue to add to those positions. So guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.